Hello, we're going to tell you a story as you try to fall asleep. In the high peaks of the Alps, where snow melts only to return, and silence speaks louder than words, lies a small village called Vallen. Forgotten by maps and memory, no one reaches it unless they've lost their way, or something they cannot recover. Its people live simply, but in their eyes is a strange look, as if they've seen what cannot be spoken, or heard what cannot be forgotten. At the edge of the village, near the forest, lived a man named Elio Marin. His home was an old wooden cabin, surrounded by pine trees and covered in snow, as if the world itself was guarding him. Elio wasn't just a candle maker. He was known as the keeper of light. His candles didn't just brighten rooms, they lit up hearts darkened by sorrow. He never sold them. He made them for those who had lost something precious, a dream, a love, or even themselves. Each candle held a story. He melted ashes from letters, drops of tears, or soil from places where souls were lost. Then he wrote a name on each candle and placed it on his window, letting it shine through the night and whisper secrets to the wind. But Elio carried a secret of his own. In every candle, he placed a piece of his soul, a memory he didn't want to remember. He had once loved a woman named Leora, who vanished during a storm. No one knew what happened to her. Since then, he never spoke of her, but every year, he made a candle with her name and placed it in a quiet corner of his window. Like a prayer never spoken. Like a waiting that never ends. One harsh winter night, a stranger knocked on Elio's door. He wore a gray cloak, his face hidden, leaving no trace in the snow. Elio opened the door and said calmly, "You don't belong to this village." The stranger replied, "Nor to any other place. I came to ask for a candle that never goes out. Because I've lost time." Elio looked at him for a long moment and said, "Time isn't lost. It's forgotten. Do you wish to remember?" The stranger whispered, "I fear my memories will burn me more than forgetting ever could." Elio led him into the workshop and began crafting a rare candle. He mixed wax with ashes from a mad lover's letters, drops of spring's first morning dew, and dust from a forgotten grave. When the stranger lit the candle, his life unfolded before him: childhood in a city called Navarra, wars fought without reason, betrayals he never regretted, and a woman named Celine, whom he loved but left, afraid of happiness. He fell to his knees and said, "I'm only a shadow of who I was. Can a shadow become light again?" Elio answered, "A shadow doesn't become light. But it points to it. Follow your shadow, and you'll arrive." Days passed. Villagers came to Elio, not just for candles, but to share their stories. Maria Evelyn, a widow who lost her son in an avalanche, wanted a candle to guide him back in dreams. Thomas Varon, a young man who lost his passion after a failed project, asked for a candle to remind him why he began. Father André, a priest who lost his faith after witnessing injustice, wanted a candle to light the path of doubt. And little Emma Rose, who never spoke, drew a candle on paper and gave it to Elio without a word. Each candle lit Elio's window, turning it into an altar of memory. People came not to buy, but to reflect in the light. Under his bed, Elio kept letters he wrote to Leora after she vanished. He never sent them, but wrote as if she might return. He wrote, "Leora, every candle I made was a way to understand you. But I've learned that light doesn't explain absence, it comforts it. And, sometimes I feel the wind carries your voice, and the snow writes your name on my window. In the last letter, if you return, I won't ask where you've been. I'll simply be glad you're here." One winter night, Elio made one final candle. He wrote Leora's name and lit it. As it glowed, he saw a shadow at the door. It wasn't the gray stranger. It was Leora, as he remembered her, but with eyes that held no time, only eternity. She said, "You didn't lose me. You hid me in the light." He replied, "I thought I was lighting your way. But I was lighting mine, to keep from falling apart." She placed her hand on his heart and said, "Every candle you made was a call to me. I heard it. But I wasn't ready to return." Elio closed his eyes, and vanished, just like the stranger before him. But his window kept glowing. And each candle whispered to the wind. Light doesn't just show the way. It brings back those who've lost themselves. After Elio disappeared, people began placing their own candles on his window. No one made them anymore, but the light never faded. Then came a young man named Leon Marin, Elio's nephew, who only knew him through old letters. Leon was an artist, but had lost the will to paint after a painful accident. When he saw Elio's window, he felt the light calling him. He entered the workshop and found a small notebook. On its cover, it read, "A candle is not fire. It's confession. Without confession, there is no light." Leon began making candles in his own way. They didn't look like Elio's, but carried the same soul. People returned, bringing new stories, old sorrows, and dreams yet to be born. In the final scene, Leon stands before Elio's window, lighting a new candle. It bears no name, only one word, me. Then he writes in his notebook. Maybe we don't need someone to make light for us. Maybe we need someone to teach us how to light it ourselves. And so, the story doesn't end. It begins again, with every candle lit, and every shadow chasing its light.